Welcome back to The Next Bit Bite-Sized. I'm Mark Leishman.
And I'm Hannah McQueen.
Now, when people picture retirement, they often see freedom. They see sleeping in, travel, grandkids, maybe a few long lunches. But what they don't picture is the price tag, and that's the part that tends to catch people off guard.
Yes, today we're going to talk about what retirement actually costs. Not the dream version, the real one.
And Hannah, after all those years as a financial advisor helping tens of thousands of clients, I mean, you've seen the numbers up close.
Mm-hmm.
Let's unpack what people often miss. Hannah, one of the big things, of course, it's really hard to know how much you need to have a happy and contented retirement. How do we know if we've got enough to get us through?
Well, it's relative, but if we start with some basic assumptions, let's assume you're going to live to age 90, just to give us a guardrail to what we're working towards. So if you go, well, 65 to 90 is 25 years. Now, during that time, you're going to get $500 a week, 25 grand a year from the taxpayer. Mm-hmm. And if there's a couple, you're getting 50 grand. Now, with that money, that needs to stretch as far as it can. The key for retirement is you have to be mortgage-free, in my mind. It is feasible to survive on $500 a week, just if you've got very moderate taste, provided you are mortgage-free or you're not having to pay for your accommodation costs. Most of us are going to need a bit more. And most of us don't want to live that moderately. Certainly for the first 5 or 10 years, you want to continue to live the way you are accustomed, usually.
With a bit more freedom. Yeah.
With a bit more freedom. So, yes, people are spending sometimes more in the first few years of retirement because they're able to travel or they're able to see the family more often, or they're doing the renovation on the home that they've always wanted to do, or they are taking a giant family trip with your family and paying for everyone for whatever reason, I don't know. Or you're replacing your car. All these things have cash cost that has got to come from a pool of money somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it comes from your KiwiSaver. When you're supposed to be funding retirement, it's sort of spent a lot earlier. If we go back to what is your lifestyle costs, well, let's start with, let's say your lifestyle costs 90 grand a year. And you can work that out by, you could work through a budget or look at your bank statements, but that seems painful. Kind of the crass way of doing that is, well, what do you earn after tax? If it's $90,000 and you don't save during the year, then that's what your lifestyle costs, $90,000. But you want to look at that cost after the mortgage has been paid. So if you've still got a mortgage, let's assume you're going to be mortgage free by 65, so your living costs will drop at that point. So you've just got to get that number. And then you go, well, what is the difference between that 90,000 and what I'm getting from the government? If we're getting 50,000 if you're a couple, so 25,000 each, it's costing you 90,000. Well, we've got a shortfall of 40 grand.
Amen.
And let's assume you've got that shortfall for the next 25 years. And that translates to $1 million of shortfall. And then you say, okay, well, how can I close that $1 million? Well, you'll have KiwiSaver. Crassly, KiwiSaver accounts for 50 to 60% of what you need for your retirement. And the balance has to come from somewhere. And that either comes from adjusted expectation, downsizing your home, borrowing from family, receiving an inheritance, working longer, spending less. Many levers you can pull. But just understand your number, because that might influence your willingness to work a little bit longer, or to think, how do I transition from this job through to another job which maybe has a little bit less stress but means I don't have to fund 25 years because I'm working for the first 5 of those. So that's like a double whammy. You've got more income coming in, so in theory you could save, and you've got your retirement savings remaining untouched for longer.
Healthcare, of course, is one of the big blind spots, isn't it?
Yeah.
You never know what's coming next.
Yeah, and people often say that, look, as you get older, your living costs drop. And that's true on some things, but your fixed costs don't drop, and some costs increase, like healthcare, insurances. These costs are going up disproportionately as you get older, and then your fixed costs, they kind of stay where you are, but then you've got rates and kind of all of these things. It's fair to say you could cut out a lot of your discretionary costs, but those are the things that
make life fun.
Yeah, yeah, that feels really depressing.
Yeah.
So you've just got to balance that.
And presumably, the best scenario, of course, is when the mortgage is gone. So you've got that added freedom of not having to worry about the roof over your head.
That's one of the best moves you can make to de-risk your retirement is to get rid of the mortgage. And I would go so far as to say is you shouldn't stop working until you're mortgage free. In addition to that, or if you can't be bothered doing that, there needs to be a willingness to downsize so that mortgage gets repaid. But if you play that card prematurely, that might not work out as you wanted.
Do you think people think that somehow magically that your spending will just sort of drop once you retire?
I don't think people think about it, to be honest, because I don't even know what logic they would apply. The Kiwi way seems to be, well, if I do nothing or just pause, it's as if I'm just pausing everything. And it's like, but doing nothing is an overt action. That is a choice to derail your own retirement. I think the problem is most people don't know what to aim for, but whatever it is, it feels like it's going to be too big. So there's no point in trying. And that's just blatantly incorrect. It is never too late to improve an outcome. It is never too late for that.
Can you explain the difference between essential expenses and lifestyle expenses?
Yeah, your essential expenses are your fixed costs that you have to really commit to no matter what. So that's your accommodation or your shelter. It's your food.
The rates.
Your rates, yeah. So within that, it's your rates, it's your monthly bills, your insurances, it's your transport, your vehicle, your petrol, all of those things, and your food. Those are essential for most of us. Your lifestyle costs are the travel, the going out to the coffee shop every day, the buying gifts for the grandkids. I mean, some people would argue that is essential, but those things are more discretionary and you can dial those back if you need to. I think people don't appreciate what proportion of essential costs there are and that they actually increase over time, whereas your discretionary costs, yes, you can cut those back, but your essential are eating into some of those sacrifices.
Is it ever too late to save for your retirement?
It's never too late to improve an outcome. I think the reason why a lot of people are afraid to start is they don't know where to start or how much effort is going to be required. They just assume that it will be hard and not worth it, I guess. I think if you're not prepared to plan, you can make some gestures, and there are some rules of what you can do, which would be work longer than what you want to, try and transition to no income. So don't do a hard cut off, work longer, try and reduce income over time, be mortgage free, downsize earlier than you want to, and have your KiwiSaver working as hard as it can, and once you've downsized, have that money working as hard as it can.
Right.
And so even if you're not looking at a plan, like for some people they have an allergic reaction to setting a budget or something like that, just do those things. That will serve you in a better position than if you didn't.
Well, it's easy to focus on the lifestyle side of retirement. I mean, that's the fun bit.
But the numbers underneath it is what matter. Because when the numbers work, the lifestyle works. And when they don't, well, it gets stressful pretty quickly.
So don't guess, get clear. Make a plan. It's not too late.
Thank you for listening to The Next Bit Bite-Sized.